Hello, everybody. I'm Charles Laughlin from BIA Kelsey, and I'm here with my two colleagues, Mike Boland. Hello, Mike.
Hi, Charlie.
And Abid Chaudhry.
Folks, how's it going?
And today we're going to go around and each talk about an insight paper that we're working on for BIA Kelsey coming out in the next few weeks. Mike, let's start with you.
Sure. So on-demand local services, it's basically Uber for everything. Uber for dog walking and house cleaning and kitten rental. So, it's a key part of our ongoing coverage of local commerce, as you mentioned, Charlie. And the way we're defining it is essentially services that are summoned on demand through mobile apps and then fulfilled offline locally. And for users, that brings immediate needs to their fingertips, which is aligned with evolving user behavior and expectations in a mobile world. But importantly for providers, it aggregates demand. And that's, in economic terms, creates this nice marketplace transparency that brings buyer and seller together more efficiently and with leaner unit economics. So the result is that individual service providers are given the customer acquisition capabilities previously reserved for large companies with large marketing budgets. So it's very empowering.
It's a sales channel for the 1099 economy.
The 1099 economy, and in addition to a customer acquisition channel, a lot of these on-demand apps have operations and payments and scheduling. So it's like a small business startup kit in a box is what I like to look at it. So the empowerment to that 1099 economy has far-reaching implications and a lot more to discuss, but I'll save that for the insight paper, which should be out in a few weeks.
Yeah, the question maybe not to be answered now, but my ultimate question is, where does it break down? Where's the bridge too far for on-demand local services?
Oh, well, and I think it's going to be like a lot of other things, like we saw with the deals craze, like we saw with a lot of things, where it is a legitimate market with a legitimate need, but perhaps there's a bit of over-exuberance in the number of companies launching and the investment dollars. So at some point, we will see somewhat of a shakeout, and there will be the kind of natural ebb and flow. But I think that overall, there are some far-reaching kind of economic, sociographic, generational realities that are driving all this that I think give it a little more staying power, even though there'll be a shakeout.
Okay. Abid, tell us what you're working on.
It touches against what Mike just covered right now a little bit, but more so in terms of what we were talking about with the whole notion of the closed loop in terms of marketing, and with what YP is doing with cross-device retargeting, with what Facebook's doing with their local ad awareness initiative. What we're getting to is this whole reality, which was something that was impossible about 10 years ago, of being able to take an advertising and marketing campaign from the organization planning ideation to the execution, all the way through to the actual offline conversion of a sale at the local level. It used to be that was a pipe dream, and you had to do all sort of proxy calculations and analysis to figure out, did this particular ad campaign really result in this particular sale? What's happening now is, with the advent of payments, payment processing and payment services like Square and Apple Pay and some of the other ones that have been coming out in the last maybe year or so, and with developments in platforms that happen to be related to marketing automation and call analytics, like a HubSpot or an Infusionsoft or an Invoca, for example, in our industry, that you're finally starting to see the two dots connect so that you can actually connect all the way through on a campaign to close the loop, so to speak, and actually create the most succinct return on investment for individual campaigns. That was pretty unheard of in the last few years, especially for the local and the SMB channel. And so for the insight paper that I'll be drafting and publishing in the next couple of weeks, we are going to cover really what happened here in terms of the genesis of this entire process. How did it get to where we are? What are some of the pitfalls that we're anticipating in the overall market? And how can publishers and partners that actually work in that work stream take the best advantage of the processes that are in place? And so it'll be like a primer of a closed loop itself, what it means, and then also kind of some of our insight in terms of what we think are going to be some of the places to think about.
All right, good. So I'll talk a little bit about what I'm working on. Actually, Mike is editing my paper that I co-wrote with Stacy Sedbrook, who's our VP of Strategic Sales Consulting, and it's essentially a little bit of a look at what it takes to build digital sales teams sort of in traditional media organizations. Yes, some of the pros and cons about just different approaches to sales structures, some best practices around hiring practices, incentivization. It offers a lot of tangible nuggets that help sales leaders understand what they need to do in order to move the ball forward in digital sales. And we're going to follow up throughout the year with some shorter takes on some of the very narrow topics within that, which is things like training, compensation, technology enabling sales, and other things. So Stacy and I are sort of teaming up on series of reports throughout the year, and we're pretty excited about it. So I guess that'll wrap up our Analyst Roundtable for this time around, and we look forward to seeing you all soon. Thanks.